Welcome to a 3v3 on Gleize breakout. This game is Pideeh. I'm back. GTA Cleveland, Ryan. Dr. Strangelove, Jesus Troops. We've got a mix of allies on the left, one American, two Soviets. And two over Commando West, one Oster, so pretty evenly mixed factions, or as even as they probably could be in a 3v3. And I think I've done some 4v4 casts on this map. I barely do any 3v3 casts. This is probably like the second 3v3 I've ever casted that I can even think of. Seems to be the least popular game mode, at least as far as requests that I receive, for whatever reason. So, kind of interesting.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Conscripts engaging Volksgrenadiers right there. Engaging some Sturmpiles over here. Pretty tense, just sort of light engagements here in the beginning. Looks kind of different from how it looks at super high levels. Or not super high levels. Looks kind of different from how it looks in 4v4. Clearly, each of the three players is going to their separate front. Although we will see the axis kind of spreading out a little bit and blending together here on the right side. While Dr. Strangelove is kind of forced to try and worry about the left side fuel by himself, which is probably going to make things rather difficult, especially with a sniper first opening. Well, not sniper first, but pretty early sniper. I don't know if he's going to be able to pick these riflemen off fast enough to win this engagement. Them jumping into this house could help. Over here on the right side, Sturms have actually managed to maintain control of this cutoff for a little while. The Axis do have fuel superiority right now. Allies need to try and get control of this cutoff and force those Sturms away on the right, and over here on the left they need to actually get the point captured. Rear echelons are going to put pressure on that sniper. MG42 is moving to protect.
Squad, fire! Attacking!
The engagement's not really going in anybody's favor yet, which is good for the Oster because it continues to hold the point. Battle group headquarters going up here in a very central location to help the Axis maintain victory point control. Sturms have been forced from this building and the cutoff is being restored, but Volksgrenadiers are grabbing the fuel point over there on the right side. Oh, what is that sniper doing? Apparently those Sturms, or rear echelons, made it into the building. Leave the building. Oh, and he gets the miracle snipe. Wow. Look at that. Sniper goes down to a magical rear echelon troop flank. I thought they were suppressed way over here by the fence. I don't know how they managed to make it into that building. Clearly it was a mistake to leave that sniper too close, and the riflemen will now leave their position in the house and force a retreat from these Grens, probably wiping them. It's gonna be close. Apparently not. He gets a miracle retreat on his Grens, but not on his sniper where he actually needs it. Pretty awful start. Fuel is being taken here by the Allies, and on the right side it looks like the fuel will fall as well. Massed conscripts are enough to push away all threats. Another tier 2 has been constructed back here as well. Can I ask any Polizei to co-cast a game with me in the next Starcross Cup? I don't know. I don't know if that's something he'd really want to do. Like, if he came to me, I would certainly say yes. But I don't want to like put pressure on him to do something he probably doesn't want to do.
Contact with the enemy! We've done it!
Grenadiers retreating from the left side. M20 hitting the field. 6-minute M20 might be able to pick up this wipe. So, fuel control will be maintained here by the Allies. He actually did manage to stall for the point longer than I expected him to be able to, but Lieutenant's getting it under his control now. Rifleman moving up with the M20 will create quite a hefty series of tasks for the Oster to chew through before he can get back control of the left side fuel. And the right side fuel has been in Allied control for quite some time and doesn't look like it's about to fall. Unless, I don't know, ooh, this overextension by the Allies is proving rather costly. It's going to take a lot of bleed here over one strategic point. Loses a full conscript squad, forced to retreat with a few others, which means only one 4-man conscript squad is left to defend the fuel. If he keeps up the pressure, his teammates keeping up the pressure with the couple of forces making their way from the left flank, might be able to stall for time, but not if they walk right into the arc of fire of that machine gun. Molotov toss on those Volksgrenadiers forces one retreat. 2 more squads moving up to support in the engagement. The Oster player seems to have pretty much given up on the left side and is sending his forces towards the center to try and help in this engagement. And the Allies just have total control of the battlefield right now. Flamethrower has to retreat through that Molotov. M20 moving to chase on the retreat path. That could be another wipe if he chases it far enough. Especially if it takes this extremely unfortunate path. Why would you not chase that? He definitely could have finished that off. Another grenade toss right there from Panzer Fusiliers brings a conscript squad low, but it will be able to get away. Shock troops on the field now, so that is one commander selection from the Allies. We also have airborne chosen by the American player who's fielded some Pathfinders. They've both played their hand somewhat. GTA Cleveland has gone fortifications, Strange Love with close air support, and Jesus troops with breakthrough, and he has Fusiliers on the field, so a couple doctrinal units hitting the field as the strategies evolve. Allies continue to have pretty much complete domination of this battlefield, other than 1 munitions point and 1 victory point. So they can afford to just take it easy a little bit. They don't need to be too super aggressive from this point forward. They really just need to hold what territory they currently have, which should prove rather easy. They continue to be the aggressor and put further pressure on the Axis, but it does allow them to continue engaging from the safety of these buildings. Interesting that these buildings have not been removed from the team game version of this map, by the way. Only the 1v1 version of this map has been changed. So that house is still there. This house is still here. Doesn't really look like this map has been touched at all. Rifle grenade is dodged by those Pathfinders. Over here on the right side, shock troops putting pressure on these Volksgrenadiers. MG-34 is in the house. Takes a grenade, doesn't retreat. Well, now even if it does retreat, it's probably dead.
Enemy flanking us.
There it goes. Allies trying to set up a triple cap. Getting very aggressive for the center VP now, even without armored support. They have a huge amount of fuel, 175 right here, no major yet. It might be in production though. I'm back, floating for Collins. Kind of a shame. Barbcan's not, he went tier 4, so that's good to see. Actually, he may not be stalling for Collins, he may just be a little bit late to tech up. You generally establish the habit of teching up at around this time, 10 minutes. When you have had both fuel points for the entire game, you might get caught off guard by how quickly your fuel has been climbing and be a little bit late to tech, so Farbcon has been a little bit more on the ball, and he's going to get his Katyusha out. Kind of not as quickly as he could have, assuming he goes Katyusha, which he might not. I just assume Katyusha when I see tier 4, but he could go SU-76 or SU-85. It's a little early to go SU-85 against opponents that have not managed to take a single fuel point all game, and SU-76s are just really bad, so I'm expecting Katyusha.
Enemy infantry! Grenadiers back to full strength.
20 takes engine damage, is hunted down by some Panzer Shreks. Flamethrower getting laser beamed down by LMG paratroopers. That's kind of a late retreat. They'll get away, I think. Unless these rear echelons pull off a second miracle snipe. And they're forced to retreat. More Panzer Grenadiers making their way to the front line to put pressure on the Allies. There is a 50 cal defending the left side, but other than that, all Allied forces have been pulled away from the left side fuel, so the Axis may have an opportunity to try to get that back under control if it can win some engagements in this general area, but so far it doesn't look like things are going that well. These LMG paratroopers are a pretty serious problem, taking those Panzer Grenadiers down quick, and the engagement for the right side doesn't seem like it's really going anywhere. That certainly doesn't help. Being forced to mass retreat because he wasn't paying attention to his blob, capping that point. But they do still hold the center VP, which is going to give them some time. LMG paratroopers going in for a grenade on the MG in this house, which will leave the building for healing. To kind of an awkward path right there, but it looks like he should get away pretty much fine. He should have probably just soft retreated to this battle group headquarters. Could have taken a safer path, and he wouldn't be off the field for so long.
Support is here. Sherman ready. Achieved penalty level. Listen up! Listen up!
Demo charge getting planted on the building right here. Oh jeez.
It's good to go.
Panzer Fusiliers will get out just well in advance of the building collapsing. There it goes. Demo charge doesn't really kill anything. Paratroopers have to retreat. Anti-infantry strafe coming from a close air support player will pin down that infantry formation and win the engagement for the Axis, I think. He retreated a little prematurely with those Fusiliers, though. I don't know why he did that. Maybe he didn't realize that that was his teammate's artillery. Or his teammate's red smoke, I should say. And apparently we are going to see SU-76s. Farbcon has... Both Soviet players have gone tier 4 at this point. And Farbcon has gone Katyusha. His teammate, I'm back, has gone SU-76. Might consider another one. It's not a very good unit. But it does have some opportunities in this battle. It can put long-range pressure on that tier 4 structure, and of course the artillery barrage is nice. If it actually hits anything. Katyusha bombarding the infantry blob here in the center. Off to a pretty okay start, softening that up a little bit. And the American player has gone with the Sherman as his first major fuel purchase. And he's collecting the fuel for his next tier 4 unit, should he choose to go that route. 50 cal is about to get forced from this building. It has no support over here, and it's taking mass grenades, rifle grenade, and a bundle grenade. A lot of munitions to clear that out, but the left side's now completely undefended. The Axis should be able to get that back under their control easily enough.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green heavy. Great. Well, grab your shit. We're losing a capture point. We're back to full strength.
Allies are not really making any progress here for this area. These two tier 4 structures are pretty much the biggest priority targets the Allies have. So we need to find some way to destroy these things. Soviet tier 4 is pretty much the best option they've got given their commander selections. They don't have any heavy mortars. If Barbcan were to choose Soviet shock army, you could maybe bombard with that. Or counterattack, you could have a B4. B4 is always a nice thing to have in big team games, depending on what your teammates have done. They will probably want some kind of long-range artillery since airborne doesn't have any, and neither does shock rifle. But if they continue to just be hyper-aggressive and push with armor, they might be able to break through. KVA can burn these trucks down extremely quickly if it decides to do so. Focusing on these Volksgrenadiers first, though. Switches targets to the structure now. With an Su-76 barrage or a Katyusha barrage, you might be able to make something happen. Katyusha is currently pounding the battle group headquarters. There's not really any infantry near it right now. A lot of his infantry's already been killed. He's down to only 4 squads left right now. And he's not floating either, so just doesn't have very much. This Su-76 is not really being utilized very much. He's just using it for the barrage. But if he can get it in range to auto-fire on this structure from maximum range, that would definitely be good too. Shooting at OKW trucks is one of the only things that Su-76's auto-fire is good for, so... That and like some light vehicles and mediums, like squishy medium tanks, like the Panzer IV. Su-76 can do some damage to a Panzer IV if it has like a damaged engine or something and won't just drive straight up and kill you. He really needs to stop emptying his barrage into these shot blockers too. That's clearly not helping. Unless he's intentionally destroying this building, but I have a feeling he's not, because that was clearly aimed at this area. Although that building will collapse soon. Once it does, it won't cause these problems any further. Looks like the left side did briefly get taken by the Axis, but this push is going to see it fall back into Allied hands. Tier 3 from close air support player. It doesn't seem to have any tanks out yet. Katyusha barrage coming down on this house. Pad 43 is kind of a scary thing to be building under Katyusha fire because it's gonna be hard to keep alive for obvious reasons. Get out of this house! What are you doing? 2 squads wiped in the building. These 2 Sternpio squads aren't exactly in great condition either. The KV-8 will spot this getting built. It needs to get clear of the arc of fire. No, don't pull back into the arc of fire. He could have easily circled this. Now he's probably just going to lose this tank. There it goes. Incendiary artillery will try and at least decrew the gun. It'll clear off all the vet that it got from killing that thing, so I guess that's something. Over here on the left side, an engagement is going terribly for the Oster. 2 team weapons just got cleared. That AT gun looks like it's extremely exposed. He will need to pull that Sherman back to safety away from the Panzerschrecks right there. But with these riflemen unsuppressed, the engagement will go to him. Bundle grenade on the pinned rifle squad, he should retreat that. Sherman getting a little dangerous, taking shots at max range. It's only 1 hit from death, so kind of risky play, but it does help turn the engagement in his favor. More Panzer Grenadiers moving up to assist in this engagement. He should either steal a machine gun or toss a grenade on that AT gun while he's got the chance before support arrives. He's going to go for the steal, so making pretty good progress over here and maintaining control of the left side of the fuel point. He does have a retreat point set up right here, but no ambulance. And against close air support, it's actually kind of dangerous to have a retreat point set up. It's pretty easy to just kill ambulances with anti-tank strafe. They're horrible mobility. Only vehicle slower than an ambulance is a Jag Tiger. So its ability to dodge strafes is not great. You have to react very soon. Which I think is kind of dumb for a light vehicle. I don't understand why that thing is moving slower than like super heavy tanks. ISU 152 on the field for Farb Ken. That Katyusha is apparently doing quite well. 23 kills already. Panther's on the field to try and counter that thing if it overextends, but it can only put so much pressure on. Two Panthers, on the other hand, may have pretty good success in hunting and destroying that. Hunting and destroying the Katyusha should probably be their top priority, though. Not because it's necessarily more dangerous, but because it's a much easier target. Probably get in, kill it, and get out. As long as they don't hit any mines. They do need minesweeper support to execute a really good push. These are both OKW Panthers. Most tier player has gone tier 3. No tier 4, no sign of tier 4 happening. All fuel being rediverted to munitions for now. P-47 rocket strafe just got called in on that Panzer IV. So he wants to soften that up for his next attack. 47 doesn't seem to be connecting all that well yet. But if he pulls that Panzer IV all the way off the battlefield, which it looks like he's going to, it might be an opening for the American player to storm this position and win an engagement. It could come down to a well-placed anti-infantry strafe, though. He has a ton of infantry, but a lot of it is currently in his base, so he's not really going to be able to do anything for now. I feel like that P-47 strafe is basically a waste. I think the plane just hit this building.
What the hell am I meant to do with paratroopers ready for action?
There goes that house, finally. Something. ISU 152 is engaging the Panther? Or maybe just infantry. Currently has high explosive rounds equipped, so it doesn't do all that much to the Panther other than stun lock it. A couple squads of infantry moving to advance overly aggressively here. Anti-infantry strafe also gets called in. That was really not necessary. That push wasn't going to accomplish anything with those tier 4 structures right there. Panther, wow, look at this blob. That is asking for it. That ISU is going to shred that. If it fires. IS-2 over here on the right side catches some stern piles, really overextended. They were double stacked trying to capture the point and take huge losses. Shock troops in the retreat path. And that looks like both squads wiped. Jeez. Katyusha softening this area up further. I'm surprised the Allies have only fielded one. 2 Soviet tier 4 structures and only 1 Katyusha. The only unit he made out of a tier 4 is one Su-76, which is now dead, before transitioning into IS-2. Kind of strange. That being said, their fuel control hasn't exactly been spectacular. He doesn't have the fuel for that much more stuff. American players completely lost control of the left side. Close air support proving too difficult for him to deal with. One squad with Panzer Schrecks and an AT gun, more than enough to stop a lone Sherman. American players should probably be making more Shermans. His decision to make a Jackson is leaving him a little bit weak against what's mostly infantry and team weapons over here. Although if you can take out that Panzer IV with the Jackson, that would be good. Lobbing into this machine gun, but he does do so under cover of smoke. Nothing suppressed yet, but his paratroopers are getting bled hard on this advance. Panzer IV has barely taken a scratch. Jackson is not really moving that aggressively during this push. Grenades are going to push away the MG-42. There's not a whole lot of Axis infantry left here. If that AT gun gets cleared, that would be extremely bad. And there it goes. Should be pretty easy to steal that. Flamethrower isn't going to last long under Pathfinder fire. There they go. The American player will retake control of the left side. Anti-tank strafe, I guess? No, anti-infantry strafe. That was kind of futile. I don't know why he did that now rather than during the engagement, but okay. Maybe it was on cooldown. Panthers have both suffered engine damage over here on the right side. ISU 152 is a little bit low. There are 3 field guns available to support in engagements against those tanks. Did that just hit another mine? I don't know. Or a demo charge. Just hit a demo charge. It's extremely close to being destroyed. He needs to pull back for repairs. Conscripts are moving up to try and maybe throw an AT grenade. The ISU 152 doesn't like the engagement and will pull back. Conscripts are just trying to work on killing those Sturms, delay or slow repairs. Shock troops moving up will force away those Fusiliers right there. This MG-42 is probably not going to hold for all that long. The PaK-43 right here will prevent against a heavily armored advance. Molotov going into the house, repairs going up on that Panther pretty quick from 2 separate Sturmpio squads, and a blob of infantry is moving to support as well. That ISU is getting way too close to the PaK-43. What is it doing? It's gonna die. It's currently in the fog of war. Fires again. Probably gonna get destroyed. Just revealed itself. Here it comes. And ISU 152 destroyed. That was a mistake. They really needed to clear up that thing first before exposing the ISU to fire like that. The blob of infantry right here, taking a little damage from shock troops, needs to pull back slightly. The ISU being dead certainly opens up a lot more opportunities for him to blob. Bomb run destroys the PaK-43 over there. And the engagement for the left side continues to rage. It looks like the Americans still has a pretty decent amount of control over this, forcing another full retreat from the Panzer Grenadier blob. Shock troops getting aggressive against these Sturmpios, tossing a grenade on that clump. Oh, that grenade! Oh, that was nasty. Fortunately, no squads got wiped, but that was huge manpower bleed right there. That was really brutal. Why is he disengaging? That is a dead Panther. I guess he's too scared of that blob. If he were to engage that blob with his 2 flamethrowers and get one more critical shot on that Panther, he could make something huge happen right here. It does need to be careful though. Probably would need some lucky bounces. Panther continuing to engage over here is a little exposed. Where are those field guns? There's one. Where are the other 2? There they are. The Panther needs to make sure not to expose itself to field gun fire for very long. It's quite low, but it does still have its engine. Polk's Grenadiers will force a retreat. American player continues to hold this line. Panzer Shrek blob. Huge damage on that Sherman and needs to pull back. AT gun moving up from behind as well. American player either needs to spam like 3 Scots or use smoke and try and crush that, or just outspam him with LMG equipped paratroopers. That's probably what would give him the most success, but he does of course have to stay as spread out as possible to avoid the anti-infantry strafes. There's the ambulance making its way to the left side. Give himself reinforcement and healing. Having control of both fuel points definitely helps against close air support, and should allow them to just massively outspam their opponents, outproduce. If he just makes more Shermans, more Scots, he's got 400 fuel in the bank with which to just overwhelm his opponent with superior firepower and tier 4 units. He's only got to fight 1 Panzer IV, and no more tanks are going to be hitting the field, with 19 fuel coming in. What little fuel he does have all being transferred to munitions. So he should be able to maintain control of this area. And it looks like he's managing threats pretty well. Fortunately, no anti-infantry strafe is being called in, so he doesn't seem to have too much trouble holding this line, and with his forward retreat point set up not very far away with the ambulance, he should be able to keep control of this fuel for pretty much the rest of the game. Recon pass just got called in. He's gonna have to dodge whatever's about to hit him.
Standing by. Pioneers ready for assignment.
Which is nothing, apparently. Katyusha bombarding the tier 4 structures, bringing it quite low. This might go down. One more volley. One more off-target volley. This thing is barely still alive. One hit from anything and it could be destroyed. There's an ISU that could take it out. And Katyusha's now vet 3. ISU is still preoccupied in engagements for the right side. Thank you for your donation, Hetty. Yes, I will definitely fast lane your game. Thank you. It is much appreciated. Stupid dive bomb. Where did that land? Where did that land? I think that killed the Katyusha, but I don't know where it was. Thanks for following Tin Chocolate. 2 IS-2s over here on the right side to engage this Panther. This Panther moving up from the flank. Looks like the engagement's just both sides are just going to disengage. No opportunities opening up on either of those things. The IS-2 is repositioned to engage here towards the middle. Repairs going up on the Tier 4 structure quite quickly, though. There was definitely an opportunity to destroy that, but it's kind of gone now. IS-2 needs to chew through these Volksgrenadiers first. And it is experiencing some success in doing so. Pack 43 firing on that ISU will force it to pull back a little bit. Another bombing run from the Allies will be available. 30 more munitions. ISU gets a huge hit on that Panther. That needs to pull back to safety. Panther engaging two IS-2s over here on the right. Also needs to pull back. It's taking only minor damage. It's Vet 2, so pretty hard to kill. Anti-infantry strafe over here on the left will force a full retreat. The American infantry. Jackson is available for this. That Panzer IV getting pretty aggressive. The Sherman might go down to this Panzerschreck volley, though. Oh, there it is. AT gunshot from the back takes him out. Which is exactly why he either needed to utilize a lot of Shermans or just smoke or Scots or long-range stuff. He really doesn't want those Panzerschrecks to just walk up and kill him like that. Panzer IV will be at least temporarily kept at bay by the P-47 rocket strafe as it pulls out of the strike zone for some repairs. The engagement for the center doesn't really appear to be going anywhere. The Soviets just haven't fielded quite enough indirect fire to chew through all of these defenses. More bunkers being thrown up. The Panther continues be a pretty effective tool with which to push away the ISU.
Assembly complete.
Pathfinders have a Panzerschreck apparently over here. They're getting control of that VP.
Spread out. Cover your sector.
Whoa, what is that Jackson doing? What is he thinking? He gets one hit off on that Panzer IV. That was a pretty risky move. If those Panzerschrecks had been slightly differently positioned, he probably could have lost that Jackson in one volley. If that Panzer IV had been one hit from dead, maybe that would have made sense, but it wasn't, so... I guess... I mean, he didn't lose anything. It was kind of extremely risky, though. All that really accomplished is forcing that Panzer IV back for repairs for slightly longer. Goes that squad. Two IS-2s.
E-47 air support now available.
Will be sufficient to push away that Volksgrenadier blob. Anti-tank strafe does only very minor damage, and there's two field guns set up over here to counter any push by Axis armor. Gets overzealous. The battle lines have just not shifted for a long time. Axis continue to operate with no fuel point, one munitions point. Whether it's the left side or right side munitions point seems to bounce back and forth a little bit, but while that's pretty okay for close air support, that's not very okay for Overcommand of West. We're taking forever to get anything other than their Panthers out. Two Panthers for GTA Cleveland, and then Jesus troops. It looks like he's going for a Jagdtiger, I guess, maybe a KT. He has not built a mechanized regiment HQ, so he might just be going for Jagdtiger, I'm not sure. Jagdtiger would probably be a pretty good choice against IS-2s and ISU 152s. Panther just hit a mine right there, has a destroyed engine, that thing's probably dead. Unless they can pull off some sort of miracle to push those IS-2s away. Currently this wall is in the way. You can crush that just by driving over it though. ISU 152 should probably move up to help. Oh, it is! It's got a line on the Panther from here. Yeah, that Panther's pretty screwed. This one's trying to help. But it's not going to be able to do all that much. And that Panther is destroyed, and this one will suffer the same fate if it doesn't pull back right now. There it goes. Incendiary artillery falling in this general area. Wipes one squad, clears pack. This one comes dangerously close. Soft retreating that to the battle group to repair. This Panther is still alive. He did have 2. This was the Vet 2 Panther. Fortunately, the one he lost didn't have that much Vet, but it's still a pretty costly loss. IS-2 dies to Pack 43 fire. They need to stop driving into that thing without clearing it out first. They need to drop another bomb run on that or something. Stupid dive bombs falling in this area on something. I have no idea where that's landing. Way back here, I guess. 47 rocket strafe also coming in, dealing heavy damage to those Sturms. They will retreat before any stray rockets can wipe them, but it will further delay repairs on this tank. Anti-infantry strafe coming in on this blob may force that retreat. Does not manage to dodge it in time. This Panzer IV is apparently Vet 3, so it would seem the Oster player has given up completely on the left side and is moving to support his teammates here in the center, which means the American player should probably reposition to assist. He either needs to apply pressure to the left flank of the Axis forces here, or apply pressure to the Oster base. He needs to do something. His entire army is basically just sitting idle. He has sent his Jackson over here to help though, so that's something. Stolen field gun gets cleared out right there. Shock troops and conscripts with a flamethrower, taking out what they can. They need to stop walking into this tier 4 structure though. There has really not been much of a coordinated effort by the Allies to destroy this. It would have been so easy, by the way. They've had so many opportunities. It seems like they've barely even been trying though. But the game is still firmly in their control. Huge victory point lead. They still have both fuel points. They briefly lost this cutoff. Should be able to restore control of that. And all in all, it seems like more high priority Axis targets have died than Allied. The main area of concern I see is that it's pretty much turning into a 2v3 here in the center. The Oster player focuses all of his efforts on this, and the American has stopped moving his units entirely. Allied forces making their way back to the cutoff. Shock troops moving to engage these. Grenadiers will be forced to retreat. They have a flamethrower, and there's a Scot in the area firing at stuff. Took a big hit from that field gun though. Has to be careful. It'll probably be pretty safe if he leaves it parked behind this building, but he needs to make sure nothing gets a line on it. Panther's pushing these units back slowly. Not really accomplishing all that much though. Plane getting called in on this stuff. Anti-tank strafe. The heavies will dodge, I think. The plane had to cross the entire map, so it took a little while for that to arrive. This Panther falls a little low and needs to pull back for some repairs. This Panther still has a pretty decent amount of health to work with. American player making only very, very light probing attempts here towards the center with a couple squads, I guess. I'm not really even sure what he's doing. He's too busy microwaving his vehicles, I guess. Not that they're really moving either. Grenade toss on those Fusiliers. They're not being monitored. Brings the squad pretty low. He's going to jump into the building to try to win the engagement. Should be able to win that. That 5 Fusiliers are pretty scary. Falling a little low. There they go. They will retreat. Engagement for the right side continues to just be a long-range slugfest with nobody really taking or losing any ground. Allies will get back control of the fuel point, maybe. I don't know. It's actually not that much over there. Just that one wounded conscript squad in red cover. They decapture the fuel, so at least the Axis don't have it for any extended period of time. The Allied fuel advantage is kind of being squandered right now. 200 fuel, well, not by Farbken. He's probably gonna go for another ISU, I guess. He's not really floating that much. 3 ISUs is kind of a lot, though. I'm back also has quite a bit, but Pideeh is pop capped, and this is such a huge red flag to be pop capped and have this amount of resource float. It means you're just not doing anything. It means you are contributing nothing. Your army is AFK and your teammates need your help and you are not doing anything. That's pretty much what that means. You're not spending any manpower on reinforcement. You're not spending any fuel on replacing lost vehicles. He really needs to get in there and contribute.
Points are down to 300.
GTA Cleveland is similarly pretty guilty of floating. Mostly just manpower. 1,500 manpower in the bank. Just build anything. He's got a tier 4 structure, has no shortage of manpower sinks. He could be spamming overs or sturms or whatever. Whatever his heart desires, especially at 54 of 100 pop cap, there's really no reason at all. Allies trying to set up a triple cap, going for the center VP. American player finally participating in an engagement. Honestly not committing that many of his forces to this, and he's still experiencing quite a bit of success, which just goes to show how effective the Soviets have been in their 2v3 over here. Panzer IV goes down. ISU gets abandoned. Something should move up to finish that off. There is a Jagdtiger on the field now, so it's going to make it more difficult for the Allied heavies to engage, especially at range. If they can try and set up some kind of flank, they might have an opportunity. I think they're going to need a bigger swarm of stuff, though. IS-2s are not really mobile enough to circle strafe something like that. They're going to need a medium armor swarm from the American player. He needs to make like a gazillion Shermans or something, plus P-47 support to take that thing out. And that ISU is going to get recovered. Panther goes down, and they didn't even kill this thing. Not going well. Panzer Fusiliers move to try and retake the center. The right side victory point's been taken by this spare flamethrower squad. So the clock is ticking against the Axis quite quickly now, and they're losing engagements and ground slowly, despite none of their structures really being taken out. One PAC-43 went down throughout the course of this game, but other than that, their defensive positions have held. They just can't seem to maintain control of any territory for any meaningful period of time, even with the Jagdtiger on the field. Made no attempt to dodge that bomb run. There go those Volksgrenadiers. Scott bombarding this building. Panzer Fusiliers have to retreat away from that. Pio's retreating through some flames. Battle lines still haven't really shifted. Most importantly, the victory points are back in Axis control. Center and right side point are tentatively held by them. American players trying to get some territory back here. Machine gun upgrade bunker being constructed to try and slow down his infantry. which is all they really need to do since no Allied vehicles have been dedicated to the center at all. And most Allied vehicles on the right side seem to be struggling now that there's a Yag Tiger over here. Not making a whole lot of progress. Two IS-2s are kind of repositioning towards this general area to see if they can make anything happen. The Yag Tiger does have a line on them. And again, if they get too close to that Pack 43, about right there, they stand really no chance of accomplishing anything. They need to either make a really wide flank around the right side or just move to engage in this general area where nothing can counter them. Continuing to throw them into this massive anti-tank wall is not going to be very effective. Guard rifles over here on the right side making an attempt for the victory point. We're just gonna die. That was rather futile. Pretty big infantry blob from the American player making an attempt for the center VP again. Scott's working on the bunker. He should probably use a smoke barrage, because it's going to take quite a while to destroy that. Anti-tank strafe. Wow! One shots to Scott. So much for that. It's good though. Frees up some of his pop cap to spend some resources. He's now up to almost 1,000 fuel and 2,300 manpower. Pretty ridiculous. And spend his resources. He's floating so much that he should probably go captain, just so he can supervise production of more units. He really needs to just box selecting his whole army and right-clicking into the center VP would probably be more effective than what he's doing right now. Because if he doesn't start trading more aggressively, then he just is not helping. He just isn't helping at all, and not doing anything useful for his team. He could have built a munitions cache on every single point and then lost his munitions caches and then replaced them like 3 separate times and still be in a pretty okay manpower situation. IS-2 hits a mine right there.
Tank destroyer is ready for orders.
Panther is destroyed by a massive amount of anti-tank over here. Axis should probably just focus on holding the victory points rather than making aggressive pushes at this point, because obviously either side getting too overextended, it means pretty much instant death for their vehicles. There goes that IS-2. Is that 2 IS-2s destroyed? No. Alright, 40K, thank you for your $5 donation. It shall be done. Apparently the American player is box selecting his army and right clicking into the center VP. Smoke grenade in front of the machine gun bunker right there, but he'll have to retreat anyway because of this MG42. He should probably smoke the point itself with a Scott. Creates a smoke barrage from a Scott. That creates a pretty big area of smoke in which you can try and safely capture and toss grenades on things that need to be grenaded. Jackson destroyed over here on the right side.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Fire! Taking fire!
You should probably move this retreat point as well. If you were to position this retreat point like right here and just pound, pound, pound into the center, he would probably break through eventually. I mean, this is an extremely light defense. There's barely anything here that can keep him back. Fresh Katyusha has been fielded by Farb-Can. Might be able to make something happen with that. Folks Grenadiers trying to destroy some AT guns while they have an opportunity. And there they go, 2 field guns picked up by the Axis. Pretty nice pickup right there. So many Allied tanks have been destroyed over here by the Jagdtiger. What's left? One fresh ISU 152 being fielded. He has a ton of fuel reserves, so that's not really his biggest concern. Einbeck has one IS-2 left, receiving some repairs. Basically, not a whole lot of stuff. Not a whole lot of stuff left for the Allies. They've lost mostly everything, and the Axis are slowly creeping forward over here on the right and getting everything under their control. Victory points still pretty much favoring the Allies, but the Axis situation is getting better and better very slowly. You've had 2 Jagdtiger now to shut down the usage of all. Oh, jeez, and there goes another Jackson as well. I don't even know how it died. It looked like it died to, oh, double Panzerschrecks on that Fusilier squad. Wow, that's kind of sneaky. 2 Shreks and G43s, that is a heavily armed squad. That squad gets nailed by the IS-2 in one shot. Vet 4 on this Panther as well. Jeez, there are some really scary Axis tanks on this battlefield now. Looks like the American player is making another play for the center. He has not moved his retreat point an inch. Continues to maintain a pretty light defense of the left as well. Katyusha is firing away at this area. You can really feel the effects of that Katyusha being destroyed earlier, by the way. It was... the Axis were really struggling while that Katyusha was alive, and as soon as it died, Axis infantry forces really flourished. Pretty strong now. Pretty decent sized infantry force from, I think... that's not that many infantry. Dr. Strangelove certainly has a lot. Good old-fashioned close air support blobs. Reinforcing here by the battle group headquarters. Lots of prime Katyusha targets. With that new Katyusha on the field, I mean, it's got a lot of work to do. I'm honestly surprised that there haven't just been massive amounts of Katyushas this game. 2 Soviet Tier 4 structures and only 2 Katyushas fielded throughout the entirety of a 52-minute slugfest. 3v3. Seems kind of strange. Combined arms blob making its way towards the left. To flank a stolen MG42 and a T-gun while the American player is tied up over here. Not really doing anything, just kind of standing here with all of his forces. Thinks about what he wants to build, I guess. ISU moves to engage for the center VP now.
We're losing a capture point. We need to take that flamethrower out. Standing by.
Flank on the MG42 and AT gun will see the left side victory point fall into Axis control. ISU is failing to do anything over here and is destroyed by a really nice Panzerschreck volley plus AT gun. Katyusha will clear the AT gun, but too late to save that ISU 152, and that's probably like the 4th one destroyed this game, something like that. After accomplishing nothing, it couldn't even take out that bunker. Whoa! Bomb strike on the Jagdtiger will destroy that. And a P-47 rocket strafe, plus it had engine damage from something. So that's the end of the Jagdtiger. There is still a PAC-43 screening against any armored threats that get too close. Anti-tank strafe coming in on the IS-2s does light damage to both. Main gun loader is currently injured. I don't actually know what that crit does, but I know it's permanent. Bed 5 Panther engaging from the right flank. So many explosions. I think that was a Stuka. American infantry is trying to make a play for the center VP, but this tier 4 structure is still standing and this bunker is still standing. They're not going to be able to get that under control. One IS-2 has been destroyed and the other one pulls back with barely any health remaining. The game is rapidly falling out of the Allies' control. They've lost the entire left side. They've lost all their heavy vehicles except for this IS-2. Barely any priority targets remain. Pideeh has just stopped making units. He's just completely forgotten how to make units. Oh no, he remembered. He has remembered how to make units and just queued up 3 tanks. And he has the resources for like 6 more.
P-47 air support now available. Supply line just
Oh
got
man,
cut
this
off.
American player just did not do enough this game. This was basically a 2v3 from the 20-minute mark forward. GTA Cleveland didn't trade as aggressively as he could have either, but at least he has units. At least he's maintained 100 of 100 pop cap. That's something. He's maintained his pop cap at 100, and he's also been engaging aggressively for the right side, taking out priority targets, so he's definitely participated a lot more than the American player has, and he didn't even manage to hold this ground despite being inactive most of this game.
MG-42 mounted and ready. Push your attack. They are down to 50 points.
Only 50 points left for the Allies, who show no signs of being able to get any territory back under control. And there it is, GG exchanged. The Allies will surrender. Well, I would say there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of different ways. I'm not sure if I agreed with the Soviet build decisions. I think a few more Katyushas, plus, of course, trying to keep the original Katyusha alive against the AT strafe. Or actually, dive bomb would have been good. It can be difficult to keep indirect fire alive against close air support, no doubt about that. But the Allies had a massive, massive early advantage, and the only reason they let this game slip through their fingers is because they didn't press that advantage, aggressively trade, spending resources. The decision to go tier 4, neither of them going tier 3, meant they didn't really have any tanks with which to put pressure on the OKW positions here. The Su-76 didn't do all that much. The American player barely spent his resources at all, so lots of areas of improvement for the Allies. GG, Axis wins.